Not even on. What's up, Phoenix? Welcome to the stream. Welcome. All right, today we've been doing, I believe we did 2 Titans already on the previous streams. This time we'll be doing an Apollo. The difference between the Apollo and the Titan is the Apollo does have a Intel CPU, so it has the same case as the Titan. The CPU that it has is an Intel Core i5 14400F. And the cooler, same thing, VRLA Tech RGB cooler. Motherboard B760M Intel motherboard. For RAM, he is getting a 16GB RGB DDR5 6000 megahertz. I believe in the Titan you do get a 32GB for RAM. And the Apollo, a little bit less expensive than the Titan. So you do get your 16GB, which is more than enough still for gaming. For storage, you still get your 1TB M.2. Graphics card, GeForce RTX 5060 Ti. For power supply, you do get your 600-watt 80+ power supply. This customer did opt in to get white cable extensions for this build, so it's gonna be like a black and white build. And yeah, they're also getting our 6 high-performance VRLA Tech RGB fans. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started on the build. Like always, go ahead and do the motherboard, CPU, RAM, NVMe. Get that motherboard set up first, and then we'll go ahead and put it in the case. All right, we got our Prime B760M AAX. Damn. Let's go ahead and get our RAM here. NVMe. And our CPU. Perfect. Put this to the side. Yeah, it's a nice 1080p, 1440p build. If you're awake past bedtime for the stream, perfect. Hopefully you enjoy the stream. What time is it? Past bedtime, what time is it with you? Here's barely like 1:33 p.m. Pacific time. $22.25. Oh damn. Just like $22.25, 12, $10.25 it would be. Yeah, where are you located? It's 10:25 p.m. Yeah, 10:25. Other side of the world. You're gonna go to sleep, we're barely waking up. Alright, let's go ahead and put our CPU in. Maria, can you give me a cooler and 3 fans?
Cooler and 3 fans?
Yeah.
Where's that?
They're right next to Melvin's desk. He shouts them. There's a little bucket right here. Alright. Got our CPU in. CPU is go ahead and put in the RAM and our NVMe as well. I got DDR5 16GB kit for $120. Oh damn, that's not bad. Especially for the price that 16GB RAM is at right now? Especially DDR5. What speed? What speed of a kid did you get? It's 5200 megahertz. That's not bad. That's pretty good for 120 bucks. Is it new or is it used? Even if it's used, I mean, it all works. For 120 bucks, that's not too bad. New? Where'd you get that? Was it like a special or something? Just get off a website? 'Cause that's a really good price. Especially if it's new. Go ahead and open up our RAM here. Delta DDR5, 16 gigabyte, 6000 megahertz. It's a Slovakian site and it's trusted. And as long as it's trusted and you get that RAM stick coming to you, that's a really, really good deal. Really, really good deal. What else do you have in your build besides the DDR5? Is this a new build you're building or you're just upgrading the build? Yeah, so we got the CPU, the RAM, the NVMe in. Now we're just waiting for the cooler itself. And then we'll be able to go ahead and put the 3 fans, one here, 2 on top. 2 on top are gonna be exhaust. The side one's also gonna be exhaust. Thank you. Yeah, we go ahead and put the cooler here. Got our 3 fans. All right. Take off the current fan. There we go. It's an upgrade from my AM4 to AM5. Nice. What CPU did you decide to go with since you're switching to AM5? That's good. They're gonna be future proof now. So like the majority of stuff is gonna be AM5. All the new stuff is AM5 using an AM5 board. I don't believe any motherboards like AMD wise are gonna be switching to a different socket anytime soon. I think they're gonna stick with the AM5 for now. 7500F. Yeah, that's not bad. It's pretty good. Yeah, best budget option. Yeah. But like I said, you're already AM5, so later on, if you do want to upgrade to something better, you have that. You'll have that choice. Just bring the thermal paste up a little bit. Then put the brackets on the CPU cooler. This time we are going to be using these brackets. On the previous ones, we haven't been using them since we did have AMD builds. But we're going to need the 1700 bracket here. We don't need this. I hope there's not a bottleneck with my 8 GB 46 Ti. You should be fine. Yeah, you should be fine. And then you can overclock the GPU a little bit if you do run into any issues, but I think it should be fine. All right, let's go ahead and put the brackets on cooler here. You just got it for Christmas? Nice. Nice Christmas gift. Do you play like any games, you stream or anything like that? There you go. Coming from a 3050. That's not. I'm still at a 2060 in my own build. It just really depends what you play. Like if you play like let's say Valorant, it's a very CPU intensive game. Um, if you don't have like the best GPU, you won't really notice the difference. Just because the Valorant, even Fortnite is very CPU intensive as well. Thirty eighty. Yeah, 30 is really good GPU. Even though it might seem that it's really old, it's still really good GPU. Go take out this protection sticker. There you go. Let's go ahead and line it up with our screw holes here. There you go. There we go. Perfect. Yeah, 3080. Like I said, even though it seems like it's old, it's a really, really good GPU. More than enough for gaming, to be honest. Even a 4060 Ti, it's gonna be really, really good for gaming. Especially if you're only game for like 1080p and stuff. I usually play 1080p in competitive settings, so most of the time everything's on low. Just like high resolution for like um what do they call it? Like straight able to see stuff from far. What would they call it? But yeah, that's why I don't have an issue with the 2060 still in my build. There you go. There we go. Now we go ahead and put the motherboard into the case. Now we do have to fix up the standoffs on the case just because it's for ATX on the cases. So let's go ahead and fix the case standoffs here. My dad wants to give the PC to his friend to upgrade it, but I want it before spring break. And before spring break ends, and we are rookies, and he's scared to break the CPU. We have little experience because we installed an AIO. Honestly, it's fairly, very, very easy. There's a lot of YouTube videos on it as well, like how to install CPU. Yeah, just look up YouTube videos, watch a whole bunch of them until you feel like, you are able to like put the CPU. But honestly, it's very, very easy to put CPU. I think the people get really scared just because of the pins. But the socket, like the newer CPUs now, even the AM5s, like they won't sit on. There's no pins on the actual CPU. On the actual CPU, there's no pin. The pins are all on the motherboard socket themselves. So yeah, and there's only one way that the CPU would go in. Just match the triangle. There's a triangle on the CPU itself, and there's a triangle on the motherboard itself also. You just gotta match. They'll be on the corner. On the corner, there'll be one triangle on the corner, on the motherboard, and there'll be another triangle on like the corner of the CPU. So just line those up, and then just softly place it into the socket. Then you can move the CPU a little bit just to make sure it's well wedged in there, and it should be fine. There's nothing really much to it. I'm just skeptical about the cables for the board because we have to connect the SSD, hard drive, and more GPU and that stuff. Yeah, that stuff. It's also very, very simple. Like those cables, like the GPU cables, the SSD, the hard drive, all that stuff. Like all those cables have their certain cables that have to go in them, like on the power supply. If a certain cable, like you try to put like the CPU cable on the GPU, inside the GPU, it just won't fit. The GPU has a GPU cable specifically for the GPU, and it'll only fit the GPU. The CPU cable will only fit the CPU, on the CPU port on the motherboard. It won't fit anywhere else. All right. So yeah, it's very, very easy. You can do trial and error, try to see if this cable fits in there. But just watch a lot of YouTube videos, and pretty much the cables on like the power supply and stuff uh, um they're pretty much labeled also. So for GPU, say PCIe. For CPU, say CPU. And of course, 24 pin that goes into the motherboard here on the side. It's a big 24-pin connector. Obviously, will only go in the motherboard. It won't go anywhere else. All right, I'm putting in the I/O shield for the motherboard here. Now let me get my screws here to put in the screws on the motherboard. Yeah, just watch a whole bunch of videos. There's a whole bunch of videos on YouTube now of how to build a PC. Or just watch our live streams. Just ask me like what questions you would have. I'm happy to help. Like you saw, I'll just put the CPU, RAM, and NVMe in like less than 5 minutes. All right. Got our screws here. I've streamed a lot of exams, and the guy will be busy with his kids, so I hope I can enjoy the upgrade before studying for all that. Yeah. So your worries just having to put it together, correct? Yeah, trust me, it's fairly easy. It's not. I think that's where people get scared too. Like they overthink it too much when building the computer, just because they're scared of like breaking something. But it's fairly easy to work on. It's really hard to like connect cables that don't go in certain places because even like the case cables like USB 3.0 and the HC audio and the F panel cables, all those cables only go into certain things. Like it won't fit anywhere else. So if they don't fit in that place, they obviously don't go there. Two more screws and we should be done with the motherboard on the case. So you're doing like a whole like build, like new case, or just switching it out from the case you have now. We need one more actually here, right down the middle. I just have thermal paste lying around, so I'm ready for that. And thermal paste also really easy to apply. Just apply like I always like do like a X formation, and then when you sit the cooler itself, with the pressure, it'll spread out evenly. All right, now I'm gonna do the cable management for the 3 fans in the front, and then also the cable management for the case cables. with the USB 2.0, HD audio, and stuff like that. All right. We use a normal manual screwdriver for the motherboard and that stuff. Yeah, you can use whatever, to be honest. Like a lot of people say like, oh, why using power tools on the motherboard? Why using power tools to even build this PC? These power tools don't have that much power. Like it's not like your average like what is like your average power tool, but like it's not like a power tool that has like 18-volt battery in it that it could unscrew lug nuts from a tire and stuff like that. Not like, and then we have it like at the lowest setting too. I have mine at 4. And then you could also like mess with the tension like on like while you're pressing it, you don't have to press it too hard, and then you feel it when it's like screwed all the way in. Even when you do it manual, you could feel when it's like already getting really really tight, and then you're not supposed to tighten it anymore. Just the um, power tools just make it a lot easier. Puts less stress on our hands too, especially when you're building multiple PCs. Yeah, but manual is good too. If that's all you have. All right. Go ahead and get started on this cable management here. Our fan power here, which looks like we're gonna have to connect it up here. Like that. Connect all our fans to our splitter. The water pipe cooling or an AIO is better. To be honest, if you're not going for like you're not enthusiast or want the aesthetic of the water cooling, like Asher water cooling, an AIO is most perfectly fine, to be honest. Water cooling is mostly for the people that want like the aesthetic of the water cooling and want the like really, really, really cold temperatures. But an AIO does the more than enough for the job. And then I prefer AIO better just because you don't have to deal with the all of, like the maintenance, have to flush the liquid, buy liquid again, and hope that you don't get any air bubbles when refilling the liquid and stuff like that. So that's more maintenance and more of a headache to deal with. Just for some aesthetics of the water cooling and stuff like that. So I would prefer AIO, to be honest. For how long have you been streaming stuff like this? I believe we've been streaming for about I've been doing this for probably like about a year, a little bit less than a year. Yeah, probably a little bit less than a year. All right, let's go ahead and connect our RGB here as well. Yeah, but I would definitely go with AIO instead if you don't want to deal with all that like the maintenance, and even installing. It's pretty hard as well. It's harder. It's way harder than the AO. And you just put the fans, install it, screw it into the case. That's it. Water cooling is a way different situation. Way harder. Why Intel? Anti spiral. So for our Apollos, we do offer Intel CPUs now. It's just like a more budget friendly CPU for this build. So we go ahead and add it into our Apollos. Our Titans do have AMD CPU and a little bit better graphics card. They have the same 5060 Ti, but I believe the other 5060 Ti has 16 gigabytes of VRAM. This only has 8. Yeah, so the Apollo comes pre-configured already with the Intel CPU. Yeah, this is the people coming in for some builds. Yeah, we do. We have plenty. I believe this is the customer's build as well that wanted it to be streamed. Yep. So this customer got an Apollo built from us and customized it a little bit by adding white cable extensions to the build. Should add a little nice kick to it in contrast to the black of the case. And the majority of the case is black as well, like components wise also, like black fans. So the white cable extensions should do a little contrast to the cases say. Now I'm just doing a little bit of kill magic here in the back. Mm-mm-mm. Get him. He has RAM. Yeah, this one has DDR5, 16 gigabytes of 6,000 megahertz RAM. Intel's good after the 13, 14 gen. Stability issues, they are not that popular anymore. Yeah. Yeah, like the 1400K, like those after. It's not that they were bad CPUs, it's just that their cooling wise was just really bad. They would just get really hot. But the CPU itself was a really good CPU, performance wise. But if it would just get too hot, and then the reputation went down from there. But then they came out with their old Ultra CPUs, and they try and make it up for it there. Because Intel tried to do too much too fast. I feel like they could have done better with their 14 and 13 gen CPUs. Yeah, yeah. Intel just tries to be the best, so they get in front of everybody, upgrade before everybody. It's annoying when they say he has RAM game. I would say he has a GPU game. They are more expensive GPUs. The video killed the 56 Ti, 16 gigabyte. Yeah, RAM. To be honest, everything's super expensive. RAM, um, even NVMe's are super expensive now. We used to be able to get an NVMe for $100, the 1 terabyte one. Now it's like almost $100 more, double the price of it. GPUs, people are still like GPUs still aren't as expensive as they're gonna be once NVIDIA stops providing RAM with like their GPUs to the manufacturers like PNY, Zotac, Asus, and stuff like that. So the GPUs are gonna be more expensive than what they are now. Yeah, SSD double the price, RAM triple. Yeah, it's crazy right now. All right. For HC audio in, I'm gonna plug in our USB 2.0. 3.0 actually. There you go. Then our USB 2.0 here, right next to it. Got the 3 fans in the front. And then we got our cable for our case in, all plugged in. Now let's finish up that cable manager for those cables, and then we'll go ahead and start on the 3 fans, GPU. And that'll pretty much be it for this build here. I bought an RX 6000 XT 12 GB for 150. Gonna sit on that for a while. Yeah, for 12 GB one, nice, nice. Yeah, everything PC wise is all gonna go up. I don't think it's gonna go down for a while. But that always happens. Prices go up and then they come down eventually. When? I don't know, but they always come down eventually. And they always go up. It's never been like and then the prices stay like stable for a while and then go back up and then come back down. That's just how computer parts work now. But they've never gone this high up. What's gonna happen when everybody stops using AI? Do you think prices go down or is the damage permanent? I think the prices will go down, like I was just explaining right now. I think the prices will go down. Um, yeah, the prices will go down. All these companies will have to go back. It's not like a regular, since they're not being all bought out by these AI companies. But I don't think it's permanent. I don't think it's permanent. Like, for sure, like the prices won't go down like to what they used to. They'll probably be like $50, $100, a little bit more expensive than what they used to be. Like they won't be like an NVMe won't like a 1 terabyte NVMe won't be $100 again. They'll probably be like at 120, 130. Yeah, it's not. It's hard to explain because it's not really even a shortage. It's just they're making like there's enough RAM being made. It's just that all these companies are buying everything before they even come out produced. What you could say is a shortage, but a shortage would be like there's not enough to be produced for everyone. You know what I'm saying? But these companies, whatever they produce, like they buy it. Like they're able to produce millions of RAM sticks, but then these companies just buy all those millions of RAM sticks. A shortage would be like when we had like what's a good example? I believe it was GPUs. Um, let's say like 4090 GPUs, and they only made a certain amount, and then that was a shortage. Not enough GPUs being made. But yeah, hopefully these new uh fabricators can make more RAM, just specifically for consumer base, and then just sell the rest to like these AI companies or bigger companies. I think people take AI too seriously. The future, like everyone uses it for homework, not for solving the hardest math problems. Yeah, AI is cool. I like me personally. I like it. Um, just makes life like less. It's more convenient than Google now, to be honest. Like in Google, like let's say you have a question, right? In Google, you got to type it out, and then like an example, like let's say you're gonna go buy a car, and you type in Google reviews of this car. Let's say like a Mustang or whatever. You say reviews of a Mustang. Then you gotta go look through all pros and cons, this and that. If you type in like a AI, you put like reviews of Mustang, and then it'll give you like a whole list of pros, a whole list of cons, or you can even ask it like, "Oh, give me the pros," and it'll give you like a whole list of pros of like the car, and then you type it again. Give me the cons. It'll do everything for you. Then will like you having to go look for it and stuff like that. I think there's no profit in AI. Open AI is already um yeah. Profit there is profit in AI, to be honest, because a lot almost everybody's gonna be using it. Um, so yeah, everybody's just trying to get ahead of it. I mean, it's always been like that. If it's either AI or anything else, like technology wise, everybody always wants to be ahead and have like the best big thing. Kind of like Apple and Samsung going at it with their phones and stuff. Each company wants to be the first to do this. So Google AI overview said that you should eat 5 rocks a day and add glue to pizza. Yeah, that Google AI is funny. Yeah, my like even in the Super Bowl, like AI probably had like the one like the most um amount of like Super Bowl commercials, which is pretty funny. Yeah, but RAM also has been a shortage not just because of AI. All these new companies that had like their supercomputers and stuff like that, they were outdated as well. They still had DDR4, or just didn't have the full potential of DDR5. So, and they were all upgrading their supercomputers as well. So all these companies started buying DDR5 RAM as well. I always forget what the name of like the what type of companies they were, but they were upgrading all their systems, and they need DDR5 RAM to do that. All right, we got these in. And the two on top. All right, we got a screw on there. Yeah. Currently, I don't think AI is probably the meta because it doesn't have enough information in it. But once it starts getting like a lot of information, like especially for the AI platform, information I mean like data, like to go off based off, then that's when it like would be really really good. If it was like more accurate, like you said, like the Google AI not being accurate at all. Oh, damn. But it's barely starting, which is crazy how advanced it is now that it's barely started. Um, yeah, you just have to wait and see how it is in a couple years, how advanced it is in a couple years. There we go. Now just gotta have this fan as well. Intel's gonna be making a RAM for AI, but Micron is probably there forever. Yeah, probably. Most likely. All right, we got those two fans in. Let's go ahead and do the cable management. The back here, then we just have to put cable extensions and power supply GPU. And we should be done with this build. All right. Just like that. Into there. Into here. All right. Get a zip tie in. Pull it up. There we go. Gonna zip tie these two here. All right. And they put AM4 stock cooler on a AM5 CPU so they could have extra promo. They risking a poor CPU, and it's a 9850 X3D for a stock cooler. They did? Like it comes with the CPU? I didn't realize that. Or does it come with that Wraith cooler? It's not the Wraith cooler that you're talking about? I know AMD has two stock CPUs. They have like the stock like black one, and they have like that Wraith cooler, like the RGB one. Do you think if Intel made a CPU like the X3D with DDR4 support, will they blow up again? I don't think with DDR4 support. I don't think they would go. Even if they could, I don't think they would do it because um that would just be taking a step down. Like AMD still supports AM4. Like I believe they. Well, I believe now they don't anymore, but they were sort of releasing AM4 socket. But I don't think Intel would come down to that CPU. The only reason I would see, I mean, that platform again. The only reason I would see Intel coming back to DDR4 platform would be like if they don't have anything new to give. So it'd be like their piggyback off that one. Not like that, not like their best CPU. Um, But I don't think they'll come back to DDR4 like AMD. Oh, the basic one that comes with the 5600. Oh damn! I didn't know. To be honest, the majority of people that are buying that CPU are not gonna have a stock cooler, which doesn't justify why I put a stock cooler with that CPU, unless I wonder like how testing has gone, um, with that stock cooler and how long it could be stressed for, and how hot it would get. Cause I don't think AMD would just put a cooler, knowing that it'll overheat. But then we got Intel that sold GPUs that would get too hot. So who knows now? Who knows? Go ahead and put our cable extensions here. So we got PCIe and then one CPU. Perfect. And we got our 24 pin. Put our extension cables in first, just so they're in the back there. Then we just put our power supply in and connect them to the cable extensions. There we go. CPU's in. Then we got our GPU extension cable. We can even put the GPU in as well, so we can get this cable extension connected. How popular is the pre-built market right now, in your opinion? To be honest, I have no idea. I believe you could buy a pre-built. I don't know. I don't know how profitable it is. But I know it's probably cheaper right now to get a pre-built, almost the same price to get a pre-built than building your own, just because of RAM, NVMe prices, and stuff like that. Go ahead and put our GPU in here into the case. Time flew by when watching this. It was 10 p.m. like a few minutes ago. Now it's almost midnight. Yeah, it's crazy. Crazy. Yep. Just get talk, chill, get a nice build in. We're almost done with the build too. We just need GPU and power supply in. We're pretty much done. I used the stock for the 5600. When they tested the case, it was super hot, and I had like that for 3 years. Yeah, the case. I mean, it is different. The case being hot and the actual CPU being hot, because the case can be hot from all like the hot air being blown into it, but if the CPU is cold, like if the CPU is not getting hot, like going like 90 Celsius or 100 Celsius, then yeah, definitely start having problems. But the CPU staying like at 60, let's say idle 35 to 40 on idle, then you're probably fine. It's like a car. Like a car's, the outside's hot, you can feel all the hot air. Obviously the car is hot, but not hot. It's still being cooled down. All the internals are still being cooled down. There's all that hot air being blown that makes the car feel hot. All right, let's go ahead and remove these little brackets here. A 2-slot GPU. We're gonna need 2 slots. Get this other slot opened up. There we go. Now we can slide the GPU in. Just like that, easy. Screw it in. The pre market is much better because some people have old prices. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, I think right now a pre-build more makes more sense to buy now. Even if it's like a couple, like 100, 200 bucks more, you're getting a full PC built. Um, taking the worry about you building, you get warranty on the build itself, you get customer support. If anything were to happen with the build. Yep. We got the GPU cables in now. There we go. Now you can put our power supply in. And that'll be the last thing that we need to plug in. And we should be done with this build. So we got a 600-watt power supply. Go ahead and open it up. From this bag, we're gonna need the screws for the power supply itself. Comes with extra zip ties as well. All right, we got the screws here. We're missing one more screw. Yep. Got stuck in here. What's up, Jake? Welcome to the stream. What's 4K called 4K when it's 2160p? I think. I think it is that. I don't. To be honest, I don't know, but I know it's like different like resolutions: 3K, 4K, 2K. Well, I think it was just the easier way of saying instead of saying like 2160p. You should say 4K settings. I'm not 100% sure, to be honest. Don't take my word on that. Don't take my word on that. Let's go ahead and put our power supply in here. All right. Power supply is in. Go ahead and start cable managing a bit. I think power supply will probably be um probably the easiest to cable manage. The hardest probably like fans and stuff to cable managing case cables. The power supply is pretty easy. Especially with like an ATX power supply, you can only install the cables that you do need. I mean modular power supply, not ATX. A modular power supply. Like if you don't need SATA, you don't have to install the SATA cables. You need CPU, GPU, and 24 pin. That's all the cables you need to install. And that's it. And then every case pretty much has kind of has like the routing for like the power supply cables, where to put them and stuff. It's a little bit easier of where you put the power supply cables. Excuse me, an hour you can make. I'll probably make it. I could probably make this build. I built this so much. I could probably build this build, like if I really had to, in like 30 minutes. It's just I'm doing it a little bit slow, just for stream, talk to the stream and stuff like that. But if I really had to get this, normally typically it'll take me like 30 to 45 minutes to finish this build. And it also has to do that I like already built this build multiple times. So I do the kill manager for the same thing, so it's like pretty much muscle memory for me at this point. I gotta get that GPU cable over here. There we go, all connected. What's up, Dark? Welcome to the stream. Are you streaming on Saturday? No, we don't stream on Saturday. We usually stream on the weekdays. Typically we're streaming on Tuesday and Friday. Yeah, but we typically just stream on weekdays. We don't stream on weekends. Just because we don't work on weekends. All right, now connecting the 24 pin here. Yeah, it was Friday last time. Maybe it was no, because we did start at 1, I believe, or 2. I was gonna say maybe it was already Saturday for you, but got a lecture, so you decided to join the stream. Well, thank you for joining. Even though we're almost done, thank you for still joining. Coming to the stream, checking out the stream and all that. We're about to go to bed. It's midnight for you. Well, thank you, bro. Thank you for staying for the stream, hanging out with me, talking to us. Hopefully, we'll see you in the next one. I'm just about done doing the kill management here. I'm just worried this is not gonna close here because of the back panel, but it looks like it is gonna close. Oh yeah, perfect. There we go. Let's go ahead and plug it in. The first time I came, someone was asking for a laptop. Hello. Yeah, but a lot of people come in asking for laptop GPUs and stuff like that. Understandable. Go ahead and plug it in and get my cable here. Make sure that I connected everything correctly. Let's go ahead and see. Power on. Fans are spinning. Perfect. The RGB is on. Going to turn up some of the lights here. Just get to see it better. It's doing like a little boot loop. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Like I said, we do stream on weekdays. Most of the time we do have one or two streams on like either Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, but for sure we always have streams on Friday. So you guys wanna like, subscribe, turn on notifications for us when we do stream. But yeah, this is our Apollo build. Just to go ahead and say the parts one more time. CPU, we do got our i5 1400 400F. CPU cooler, we got our VRLA Tech RGB tower cooler. Motherboard, we got a B760M. RAM, we got 16 gigabytes of DDR5 6000 megahertz. Storage, we got a 1 terabyte M.2. Graphics card, we got a 5060 Ti 8 gigabyte. Power supply 600 watt. Power supply cables, customer did add white power supply cables. We got adds kind of like a nice touch to it. Just like I said, the contrast of the black and white. Yeah, really nice build. But hope to see you guys next time on the next stream. Like I said, on Friday we should be having another stream. Thank you, Phoenix. Thank you for supporting. Thank you, Dark Guy. Yep. Hope you guys have a good one. And we're gonna end the stream now.